Hi guys, long time no see. Today is the day. Months ago, I invited everybody to put this date on their calendar because today is the day that the nodal axis shifts from the Scorpio-Taurus axis to the Libra-Aries axis. Okay, what does that mean? For the past 18 months, the moon's nodes have been in Scorpio to Taurus. I called that the zombie apocalypse because that axis deals with secrets coming to life, the skeletons in the closet coming to life and taking physical form. And I think we've seen that. And we've talked about it kind of all along the journey if you are a follower of my channel. But we've seen a lot of secret agendas come to light on a global stage. I think on a personal stage, you can look in your own life and see where things that you didn't expect might have started coming to light from the people around you, or maybe some of your own secrets or your own agendas have started taking shape over the past 18 months. And the Libra-Aries axis is the next natural step on that journey. So the moon's nodes are not real things, they're mathematical points. Okay, so this is math, and the nodes go in this circle around the moon, and they're always right across from each other on an astrological chart. And what they do is they kind of act as magnets. Okay, we're on this journey from the south to the north. The north node is shaped like a little horseshoe, and it's the lucky horseshoe. Okay, we're always trying to head to the north node. Nodal path takes about 18 years to complete. So when you turn 18, you have your first nodal return. When you turn 36, you have your second nodal return, and so on. But I just love that that's when we consider somebody an adult. At 18, they've experienced all of the nodal paths, and now they're back to where they started. We've seen the Libra to Aries axis in the past, certainly within my lifetime, and within your lifetime as well, probably, unless you're pretty young. But every time has a different flavor because of how everything is moving, astrologically, and most importantly, because of everybody's choices on the earth. Of course, the stars don't control anything. You look at the stars and it acts as kind of like a mirror for what's going on the earth. They don't control anything, but they can reflect what's going on. Anyway, the ultimate arbiter here is your choices. It's my choices, okay? Free will is everything, but we can look at the stars and see a mirror that can explain to us kind of why some things are playing out. It can give us some hints as to how things can play out, and so on and so forth. The last time that we had the Libra to Aries axis, we were still hotly embroiled in the Iraq war. This is about 2005. That is notable because Aries is the sign of war. It's named after the god of war, of course. It goes with Mars, the planet of war, which is not to say that every person with an Aries placement or wherever Mars is in your chart is going to make you very warlike or something like that. But it is to say that there is that element of initiating, getting things started, and it is traditionally associated with a willingness to fight and an unwillingness to shy away from conflict. Mars and Aries just don't care. If you want to fight them, they will fight you back. So on the other side of the axis, at this time, we have Libra. And Libra is all about love, marriage, alliances, teamwork. And so what we have right now is this situation where we're moving away from love, marriage, teamwork, alliance, and towards every man for himself, Aries energy, me first. If you want a conflict, yeah, let's have that conflict. Okay, that is the energy of Aries. Aries is just very willing to have a conflict. It's not going to shy away. Where Libra can sweep things under the rug and pretend things are fine for the greater good, Aries doesn't think like that. And Aries really feels the opposite is true. If we want to support the greater good, then obviously what we have to do is stand up for ourselves, stand up for what is right. So I think that we're going to have a really interesting 18 months with this flavor of energy floating around the universe, because I think we've already all been noticing how we're starting to see that fragmentation. We have the astrological setup for humanity as a whole to be gravitating towards the violent end of the spectrum. Does that mean that we're all going to go to war? No. Does it mean that everything's going to fall apart? Not necessarily. But it is just to say that more and more people are going to feel more and more comfortable with conflict. And more people are going to feel less and less comfortable sweeping things under the rug just so that we can get along. I think that over the next 18 months, we're going to see a real tipping point in what we all are willing to put up with. And we're going to see that from everybody, okay? No matter what you feel politically or religiously or whatever, we're going to see people from all walks of life and everywhere that you can imagine really sitting down with themselves and deciding what they're willing to put up with and what they're not willing to put up with anymore. I think we're going to be surprised at what exactly is the straw that breaks the camel's back. And it's going to be different on a personal level for each of us. This next 18 months, it would not surprise me if you personally learned how to set better boundaries. You're going to personally take a look at your life and realize where you're done. You're done doing what other people want you to do just because they want you to do it. And you're ready to start waking up and doing the things that you want to do. That is a quintessential Aries energy, is doing the things that you want to do. Aries is so self-motivated. If you've had trouble initiating things, trouble with starting yourself out, getting tasks started, I think we're going to see a lot of new things on personal levels getting started. I think you're probably going to see yourself taking up some new hobbies, looking at some new ways of thinking about the world over the next 18 months. And we may see some more violence. One thing that I was reading about earlier is that both Netanyahu and Putin are both Libra suns. Okay, so their suns are in Libra. Over the next 18 months, as this nodal axis is going from Libra to Aries, we have to remember that that south node in Libra is going to be transiting Netanyahu and Putin's suns. And when that happens, it's going to be acting as a magnet, magnetizing them to head to that Aries zone of war. And so does that mean we're going to war? No, that's not what it means. But it just means that the energies are in place, that's probably going to be something that's on their minds, and we're just going to have to see how it plays out. One other notable thing about this timing is that we are going to be in the Libra-Aries axis from today to January of 2025, which is, of course, inauguration. This is going to be a really interesting energy to come into play with the next elections. We have the presidential election coming up, which is a biggie, and then, of course, many Senate elections, all the congressional elections, and a lot of people in America have had a lot of concerns about election integrity. And are we having honest elections? I don't know if you saw that documentary that came out, 2000 Mules by Dinesh D'Souza. I 1000% recommend it. Even if you think he's totally crazy, it was mind-blowing. My boys watched with me. They were like 11 and 7, and they loved it. I mean, like, they were glued to the screen the whole time and learned a lot about the electoral process and what's working, what's not working. But a lot of people have had a lot of concerns about the election, about elections in general, and election integrity, election fairness, all of this kind of thing. And so as we are all entering a season where we're all going to be less willing to put up with things that we think are wrong, I'm really interested to see how that Aries North Node will play out with our next election. And then, of course, with inauguration in January of 2025. So we're just going to have to see, but these are some energies to keep your eyes on. For you personally, what are things to be keeping an eye on? Number one, I would say boundaries. Now is a great time to assess what's working, what's not working. Where have you been pushing things under the rug so that you can get along with people? Are you ready or getting ready to take a stand for yourself, stand up for yourself? Establish these clearer boundaries. I have to plug my book on boundaries. It's really great. If you haven't read it, I recommend it. It will help you with setting boundaries over the next 18 months. Aries energy gets things started. So this is a great time to be starting to look within yourself and ask, what needs to get started in my life? What have I been putting off that now it's the time to start? Aries is also the energy of physical fitness. So this is a great time to be really taking an introspective look at your diet, your exercise, your sleep, your hydration, your emotional healing work, of course, but what is something new that you can begin that will support your physical health? The next 18 months, prime time for taking control of your physical health, getting things started, trying new things. Of course, taking care of your body should not be a misery. If you're making yourself exercise in ways that you hate, there's no time for that, guys. Like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to sweep that under the rug. Guess what? Go find something new that you like. Go try tennis. Go try weightlifting. Go take a class at the gym. Try swimming. Try something new. The next 18 months is a perfect time to try a bunch of new stuff as far as your self-care until you find something that you really love that can support your physical health goals. One thing to remember while the North Node is in Aries is that you may feel quick to anger. You may feel quick to escalate a conflict, and that is completely optional. Just because we have this framework in the heavens that's kind of supporting our energies in flowing that direction does not mean that we have to engage in it. You always have a choice. When people do things that start to tick you off, you get to choose out of it. You get to choose to be the bigger person. You get to choose not to engage. There's appropriate times to engage in conflict, and there's inappropriate times to engage in conflict. This is a perfect time for us all to practice discernment and learn when it is appropriate to start escalating a conflict and when it is time to take a step back. We may see a little bit of a pendulum swing as a lot of people who have put up with a lot in their lives are suddenly unwilling to and swing quite far to the other direction. That's not going to be for everybody, of course, but I think that may be a trend that we notice on a wider stage. Anyway, we have a lot of interesting energies to keep an eye on for the next 18 months. I'll try to keep you posted as often as I can. I'm still recovering from pneumonia. This is the first time I put on makeup in over a month. But anyway, I'm so glad that you're here. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.